need to laugh, and when the sun is out, I got some.
Hi, I'm JJ.
And I'm Travis.
And we're doing a beer review. Today we're doing 3 beers. We have Goose Island Ogden, which is a Belgian triple, 9%. We have Balantine Indian Pale Ale. Balantine hasn't been brewed, this beer hasn't been brewed since the 70s. So I'm really interested to see how this beer is. Great Lakes Octoberfest, highly rated Octoberfest. Have you had any of these at all?
I've had Great Lakes, yes.
You've had that one?
Yes.
What do you want to do first?
I don't know.
I'd say the Octoberfest.
Yeah, probably.
I don't want to ruin our palate for.
I'm excited about that. Yeah, and I think that is going to be.
Well, that just came in today.
I'm excited about that. I want to know why they call it America's first IPA. Well, were they just brewing it in the style in the 70s?
No, they were brewing this IPA since like 1870. They brewed it all the way into the 70s, and that's when like Miller Lite and all these, American lagers took over. These bland.
So people just weren't buying that beer.
No, they weren't buying.
But the label didn't look like that either.
No, they made a watered down version up until like the mid 90s.
Was that the Triple X or the
X?
X or
it wasn't that good.
Yeah,
it wasn't. So this is a Vienna style lager. They usually made these in March, and they drank them in the fall season to celebrate Oktoberfest. Because this style was traditionally brewed when there wasn't any refrigeration. So they had to brew lagers at colder temperatures, obviously. So they had to brew it in the wintertime, and there was no refrigeration. So they kept it then until the fall to enjoy it for the harvest.
It's weird. I don't know if I ever had a beer like this. I thought I said I had this before, but I thought it was like a spicy, dark beer. Is that like a Marzan? Is that what I'm thinking of?
You're thinking of Martin, yeah.
I have not had this.
This is a Vienna style lager. It's going to be malty, very little hop character to it at all. 20 IBUs. Very good. Very good for the stock.
For as much as I don't appreciate Oktoberfest, I don't necessarily like the spice.
Right.
Like we're talking about pumpkin beers. I like the smell of a pumpkin beer, but I don't like a spicy pumpkin beer. Mm-hmm. Oktoberfest are too spicy. This isn't spicy at all.
No.
This tastes like a really good lager.
You can taste the fresh grains, almost kind of bready.
It's bready. It's a little bit sweeter.
No hints of freshly mown grass.
No hints of freshly mown grass at all. No, but I like this.
By the way, sorry Karen Oliver for that last video. It was classic though. It really. You got to watch number 6. Was it number 6, Evan? You got to watch number 6.
It was number 6. Yeah, this is good. It's very sweet.
It's got the caramel from the grains.
It tastes like a fall lager beer.
I love it. Yeah.
I like lagers over the summer. I love lager beer. This is so different than what I'm used to. I gotta brush up on my terminology.
When you think of lager, though, you think of the domestic BS that's on the market. You think of the domestic lagers that are mass produced.
I think of Victory Lager. When I think
well, that's good. That's a good lager, though.
Yeah, and people don't know that so much.
I think that's a little more bready than this. This has more of a caramely note to it, sweet caramel note to it. Where the Victory's that bready kind of.
You can taste the caramel now if you sit there for a minute. Yeah. You taste it now. It'd be good with dessert.
Absolutely. This is an all-day drinker. This is what they have with the women with the 10 beers in their hands and walking around in Oktoberfest.
I was always wondering what kind of beer that was because you can't imagine people drinking that all day long.
No.
Those spicy, kind of like even Yingling Oktoberfest. I hate to keep bringing them up, but there's some of these Oktoberfest beers that are dark and spicy.
Yeah.
I couldn't drink that all day.
I think Yingling to me is, I like it, the Oktoberfest, but I think it's too dry. I think, what the heck? You're supposed to have that off.
Incredibly unprofessional.
That's like a fart in church.
What was your point again?
I forget. No, Yingling, to me, when I think of an Oktoberfest, I think it's something a little sweeter, caramely, or lager. And theirs is too dry. I think it's too dry. I think it doesn't have that sweet caramel taste to it.
So what's the Oktoberfest that everybody drinks?
Sam Adams.
That's what I'm thinking of. And that to me is like a little sweet, a little too spicy.
You know what?
It's not a good. Not that's not.
I drank one the other day, and I got to tell you, I think they use the same kind of yeast for all of their seasonals. Because they all have a similar kind of Sam Adams seasonal taste. Whether it's the summer,
but that's not their basic taste either.
No.
You're saying it doesn't taste like the lager.
Right.
Like the Boston lager.
So they all have a similar profile, and I think it's the yeast they're using.
Are they using a different yeast for all their seasonals?
No, I think they're using the same. Because
they're using a different yeast than they use for the Boston lager, is what you're saying.
No.
Like is Rebel IPA the same yeast
No.
as their Octoberfest?
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Because when I tasted the Octoberfest, I could have swore I tasted hints of the summer ale.
See, when we talk about the beer profiles and the similarity between the different beers from one brewery.
Right.
And I appreciate the fact that everything from Victory comes out tasting like a Victory beer, just a little bit different. Like even with Union Jack and Double Jack and all those Firestone beers, they all taste similar, but it's just each one's a different beer.
Correct.
So I always thought that was a function of where it was made, the water, and then the recipe. You're saying that
It
could
could be
possibly
the
yeast?
Well, it could be all of those. But the yeast, because most
Is that
breweries,
the driving factor though? Like,
well, look at this. Rogue uses what they call a Pac-Man yeast in every one of their beers. It's called Pac-Man yeast. It's their own proprietary yeast. That's why Rogue has like a specific flavor profile to their beers.
and every single one tastes similar because of that yeast.
Right.
See, I don't know that much about yeast at all. So you're saying that if yeast out there that have no flavor, that'll just give you the alcohol.
Correct, yeah.
That's what you'd use in an IPA, where you don't want any malt backbone, you don't want any of that breadiness.
Stirwolf.
That has a yeast that provides you with
No flavor. It's pure alcohol and sugar. Pure alcohol and carbonation. That's it.
Right.
So the yeast goes in there. It's like
Digestion
yeast
or
and
whatever.
sugar, yeah.
Right. Interesting. I learned something.
Let's do this one because I don't want it to get too warm because I know how you piss and moan about warm beer.
There's a time and a place for warm
smell
beer.
that.
It does smell good. I mean, just seems so surprised, but I don't have high hopes for as much as hype as you've heard about this. I don't have high hopes for it.
Well, you know why you don't have high hopes? Because it's a mass-produced brewery.
That's the only
Producing
reason.
it.
That's the only reason.
You're going to be surprised, I think. They hired a brewer from Red Hook to brew this beer.
That smells great.
Absolutely.
It's a good beer.
It's a great beer. The back end bitterness is
It's not too much.
not too much, but there is more than that IPA and a half from Tommy Knocker, for example.
Yeah.
It's a great balance.
This is good. The smell is great. You got to buy it now because once it starts to get old and the smell wears off, all you're going to get, I think, is that bitterness.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
We have it. I mean, it's really good. We're gonna put it on tap too in the sampling session.
I like it.
I'd buy it because it's Balantine. I think it's pretty cool. It's like
It's like
nostalgia.
retro. It's like retro. Vintage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's hipster.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should have the hat turned up, you know, the flannel on, with the buttons all the way up to the top.
The aroma's great though. I love the aroma. I think aroma to me is 60% of an
Yeah.
IPA. You know, I mean, to me, it's a lot more than the.
I think
the
they did
taste.
a great job. I mean, it has more malt character. I mean, this is a great balanced beer.
I said we sit around and drink 6 more of them after we're done filming.
And it weighs in at 7.2%, 70 IBUs.
See, I don't like an IPA much more than 7.5 for an everyday drinker.
Right. Oh yeah.
You want something 10%, then you know what you're getting involved with. But
Right,
if you're gonna buy a
yeah,
case
yeah.
of something and expect to put down 5 of them, I think 7.5 is about perfect.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. What do you think this got rated on Beer Advocate?
This is an 89.
You saw it on my.
I'm guessing. I have no
It's
idea.
an
People won't.
You
give it a 90.
you
No,
looked at
here's
that.
my logic. Here's my logic. People won't give it a 90 or above because it's a mass-produced beer. People will keep it at 89 because it's not a craft, small, nano, something or other. I think people will beat it down.
You're right.
That's
You're right.
why I
No, you're
guess
right.
89 because it's as high as you could go without being an A.
It's an 89.
Is it? It's the logic I use. That's all. People like Watson would say, "I won't buy it because it's mass-produced." Even though on my way here, he said, "Oh, I saw an advertisement for Balantine today." You're getting some of this tomorrow, Watson.
It's pretty good.
I like it a lot. I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy a case of it on my way out of here today.
I was shocked. I tried it earlier. I didn't want to tell you that. But I tried it earlier.
I think it's great.
You did a great job. We didn't get our sorbet. But
I
you know,
it's like we just want to drink today.
but you know what? The Octoberfest wasn't that invasive.
You didn't really need it now.
The one time we were telling Todd that this Dogfish Head beer, I forget which one it was. It might have been Theobroma or whatever. They're all overpriced, and you know the $100 cases that that are really junk in my mind. We're telling them that the one's made with monkey balls from Botswana. because Sam could, he could teabag a beer and it would still sell.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did he try to sell people that?
No.
That's good. It's not a bad idea.
All right. On to Ogden. Goose Island Ogden is a Belgian-style triple. William Ogden was the mayor of Chicago, and he owned the first brewery in Chicago. He actually dug the North River. He didn't do it himself. He had the North River dug, which created Goose Island.
He knows Chicago. That's all accurate. I love Chicago. Love the city. Love everything about the Midwest.
So this is a 9% Belgian triple, 30 IBUs. This is a dry hop triple. So this is dry hopped with Citra. So this this is not your typical Belgian triple where it's sweet with candy sugars, I'm told.
Wow.
So,
May I interrupt you? Watson's favorite hop is Citra.
oh, you can smell it.
Watson loves Citra. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
I love that funk in a Belgian that mixes with the hops. I think it's
The
great.
yeast, yes.
And that's you don't get it in an IPA, but you don't look for it in an IPA. And I think the reason I love it so much is because I don't drink these kind of beers that often. So when you get something that's dry hopped with a good hop like a Citra, which is great, it's
It
refreshing.
pairs well with this.
It pairs well with the yeast. Yeah. It tastes like you mix an IPA with champagne, or it smells like you mix an IPA with champagne, like that dry, crisp, refreshing.
That is intense. It's boozy.
Not to be a prima donna, that needs to be a little bit colder.
See, look at this.
He called it earlier. What did I say? It is a little boozy.
It is boozy.
Not that it's a bad thing, but
Right.
I consider these kind of beers breakfast beers. And if you have two of these for breakfast, you're not going to church.
That's 2 times church was mentioned today.
It's a good beer.
It's awesome.
I know I walked in here saying I don't like Goose Island, or I don't appreciate Goose Island, but that's a good beer.
But see, Goose, you gotta realize,
See, why?
this beer is not coming out of the Anheuser-Busch brewery.
Oh, it's not?
No.
It's just owned by...
It's owned by Anheuser-Busch. They still allow Goose Island to do a lot of their stuff like this at Goose Island. And what you don't know is, what most people don't understand is, when Anheuser-Busch bought Goose Island, they made, it was a part of the deal that they had to set up craft breweries, Goose Island craft breweries, inside their major breweries, and hire one of their brewers to go to each one.
Anheuser-Busch.
Anheuser-Busch. So these brewers came from Goose Island. They go to the Anheuser-Busch breweries that are stationed throughout the United States.
Newark, I know there's one up
Yeah,
there. I mean,
they have little craft breweries inside there that these guys have the
So they're
resources.
making this.
They have the resources of Anheuser-Busch and the craft of
no,
Goose Island.
yeah. So, but they're not making this.
No, I think that's coming out of Chicago.
They're just making sure that the stuff that they do brew there
Correct.
is accurate and representative of the original
Correct.
deal.
Correct.
Well, that's interesting.
And you got to admit, a company like Anheuser-Busch to put out as many barrels as they do consistently, that's pretty damn impressive.
I don't think so with machinery today.
Well,
You know, you can meter something so it's perfect every single time.
yeah,
I appreciate when I get a very, very small beer, small craft beer, and I drink it and I enjoy the crap out of it, and then I find it again 3 weeks later, and it's a different batch, and it's different. It's not better, it's not worse. It might be better in some ways, it might be worse in a lot of ways, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, but it's just like anything else. The first time you try something,
You're chasing the dragon.
Yeah.
You want to go back and find it.
Yeah.
And that's why Watson doesn't like a lot of these nano breweries, because he wants it to be the same every time.
it's not gonna.
He doesn't appreciate the fact that it changes with the temperature, it changes with the
Yeah.
sunlight, you know?
By the way, Victory has their Harvest Ale coming out October.
You're saying?
Yeah.
What's it wet hop with, though?
It's they have 3 trailers of hops coming from the Yakima Valley. It'll be here within 4 hours. They were trying to use hops from New York, upstate New York. And it just wasn't. They weren't good enough.
Yakima Glory, I think, is a.
Yakima Glory was a tribute to the Yakima Valley because they had a massive fire in the Yakima Valley which killed most of the crop. So they did that beer in tribute to the Yakima Valley. It was really good.
Great beer.
Yeah. So they're bringing in 3 trailer loads of hops from the Yakima Valley. I don't know which strain or what kind. But
so Yakima's not a hop?
No, it's
See,
the Yakima Valley of Washington.
I thought it was.
No. So they have to get these 3 trailer loads of hops in the brew kettle that same day it shows up.
So you tell me they go across the country, 2-3 days, whatever it is, to get across the country, and they're
back and they're putting it in the kettle.
Wet. Fresh,
wet.
whole
Yes.
deal.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because they're at their peak of freshness at that point.
Correct. Yeah. And most harvest IPAs aren't wet hopped.
I thought harvest IPAs were brewed with the little tiny guys that were picked in June, late June, like the little buds, and early July. You brew an IPA or an ale, whatever you want to call it. You stick it away. 6 weeks later, when all your buddies come over to help peel all the real hops down, now you have something to give them. That's what I thought a harvest ale was.
That might be what some of them are. I don't know.
Now, harvest ale, in marketing terms, is the fall. They're coming out with it in the fall.
Well, and that's why Victory did it. They picked them at the peak of harvest time.
Out there.
And they brought them here and they put them in.
See, most good double IPAs, I shouldn't even say good, but most really hoppy IPAs are December, January releases. Look at Hop Slam. That's Super Bowl.
Right.
Because the shit has to get harvested, processed, brewed, the whole deal, bottled.
The thing about Hop Slam that makes Hop Slam so good to me is the unfermentable sugars in the honey that make it that much better. Because to me, if you have Hop Slam, if you take the honey out, it's just like any other double IPA.
It is.
I believe it would be just like any other. But you add the honey, and that's what other brewers should freaking realize.
But you gotta be careful though, because look at Bitter Honey from Prism.
Oh,
terrible! You can't just put honey in a beer. No. You gotta have that.
Well, it's gotta be the right amount. Yeah, it's gotta be the right. All right, so in review, you want to do the review this week?
No.
You should do the review this week.
Supposed to be over here. Sorry, I was hoarding them to myself. Excuse me.
I'm delegating.
I'm the guy on the sidelines who just likes to make sure that all the kids are playing. How's it go?
I don't know how that goes. All right, so first one we did was the Great Lakes Octoberfest Vienna style lager. Fantastic, really good.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Excuse me for chewing.
So that's a great beer, and wildly impressed.
That's case-worthy.
With Balantine IPA.
When it is, it's a great beer.
Yeah, I had Balantine when it was XXX. It was like the watered down version. It was pretty bad. But this is fantastic. And Goose Island Ogden, which is the Belgian style triple, dry hop with Citra. Fantastic.
That's a good beer. Good. I was impressed with that beer.
Really good.
I enjoy it.
So, like us on Facebook. View us on YouTube.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel, right?
Like us on Facebook.
Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Is it follow on Instagram? I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
Follow us on Instagram.
So anyway, thanks for watching and think later.
Sunshine.